Hi, I'm Heather from here booktubes, and today is my final reading vlog for the amazing Readathon. This is all the rest of June. I am filming this a little bit after the vlog technically started, but I have been at Legoland for the last few days, and so I was busy packing, getting ready, and actually doing that. So now I'm filming the intro, and here is my vacation in under a minute. We drove, dirty windshield, drove and drove and drove. We got to the hotel and the kids were in the pool every single day, so that was great.
All right, guys, run and jump in the bed. You don't have to.
Geese in the intersection for your floating pleasure, and then it was time to drive home. Also today is update. I don't know. I could not tell you where this vlog started and what I was supposed to be doing. I did not prepare for this at all. Hold on. Okay, we're back. So we later that day, I don't know, I forget, that night, I guess, maybe, we got the eighth prompt drop, study drop, and that was 5 colors on the cover, which, while I did take a different pathway to get there, I just want you all to know that I guessed that prompt. I guessed it before the month even started, and I'm quite proud of it. We had completely different reasons for it to be a prompt, but I did nail that prompt. Nailed it. Right in the sucker. So for that, I read Outfield Assist, which is Dominating the Diamond #2 by Giraldo. I give this a low 4. A low 4-star. So this is a throuple, and it's surrounding baseball, so they're all like together on the team, but there's only one player in the throuple. I don't know if it was me being tired, exhausted, on vacation, packing, driving, all of these things. I don't know if it was the book, but we had all 3 of their POVs in every single chapter, and then every time that there was a scene change, there was no announcement of that, no transition. It was never like that Monday morning at work or the next day. Like, there was never anything to like orient you in where you were in the story or the timeline or the place. So I felt discombobulated every time that we changed scenes. I didn't know who I was reading, even though I'd have the name. I couldn't remember who I was reading. I had no idea where we were. Are we at work? Are we at the pool? Are we in the middle of a sex scene? I don't know. I have no idea. So to be perfectly honest with you, this would have been ending enough if it wasn't for the readathon. And you might be like, Heather, that does not sound like a 4-star, to which I will explain that I did end up liking the second half. I liked the book, and I did end up really appreciating the journey that one of the main characters took with their parent, where they had a pretty tense relationship, and there was a lot of healing around that, and the relationship was in such a better place at the end of the book than it was, and that had to do a lot with effort and change on the part of the parent, which I really appreciate, because I don't care what your age is. I don't think your relationship with your parents is your job. It's the parent's job. That is my full stop. That is my full opinion on the matter. If you want to have a good relationship with your children, that's your job. Even if you've already messed it up, it's your job to fix it. Like, full stop. So anyways, I really appreciated that that parent specifically had put in so much time and effort to be a better parent, even if they still had, you know, the same personality and the same stumbling blocks, I guess, that kind of created it in the first place. There still was a lot of maturing and a lot of responsibility taken. Okay. And so I liked that. That got me in the feels, honestly. That was well executed. I also did like where the relationship went and everything like that. I liked the communication and the you need help. It's not weak to take help. This is growth, and no, you can't do it on your own. Stop it. I liked all of that. So I did end up liking the book, but ultimately I never would have gotten to that point if I was just reading it for fun. And I think part of that is when I read it, because I was burned out at the time, right? But anyways, this is one where you have some interesting, some unique, I don't know that I've ever read it, queer representation, because you have a gay man who is also bi-romantic. And then you have a bi man that's kind of in the middle of the trio, and then you have a bi woman as well. And so the gay man and the bi woman are both dominant, although the bi woman is kind of a switch. And they're all into kink, so that is a part of it. And then the bi man is submissive. So if any of those dynamics and kinks, there's also like a little bit of pet play and stuff. So if any of those kinks work for you, this might be a really good book. And as always, the representation is well done. I really like the author for that. I think that they do a good job both with ethnic and cultural identities as well as queer identities. So own voices, but still, I just think they do a good job for anything outside of their own experience as well. Then for sightseeing, I read The Scepter, which is the Moral Fate 0.1 by Bree. This I gave 4 stars. It is a prequel novella, obviously, and there's another prequel novella, and then I know in the whole first full-length book there's still no romance. So you have fated mates who are mortal enemies and don't want to be together. I really liked this. I did. I just don't know that I want to read that much where the romance is still not happening. Like, I really don't know that I do. So I'm gonna think about it is basically where I'm at on this one, but I did like it for what it was. Like, I liked the writing, I liked the characters. Then we got another city drop, and that was Water on the cover. We did get this while I was at Legoland at a water playground fighting for my life in the sun. Thankfully, other people were able to help with team romance, or we would have been in a world of hurt. But for that, I read Called to the Deep, which is Haven Cove #1 by Desiree and Niccoli. I am very shortly after this going to be filming a rant review, which based on the poll that I put in Team Romance, you're actually getting before this video. So you've already seen this, I guess. But right now I haven't filmed it yet. The thing is, I've read 2 of Desiree and Niccoli's novellas and given them both 5 stars. Absolutely love them. And this one, first of all, mermaids are not my thing. I'm not into that at all. It was one of the very few books I had that had water on the cover as an option. Like, I really just didn't have a lot of choice. So mermaids aren't my thing. The existence of paranormals and a paranormal romance being a conflict are also not my thing, just in general. But that still like lowered my value, my enjoyment of the book, but that is not what made me hate this book. What made me hate this book was the ethics of the main character, the love interest, the found family. They are all doing medical experiments on another mermaid, and I'm just like, that's a hard path. That's I feel sick. I feel sick at the thought of that. Like, it's just many lines too far for me. Now, this does still follow the same main character and love interest in the second book, and then the third one I think is the mermaid that they held captive, maybe based on the and technically she was there by dubious consent by order of her leader, and also I think she's a minor. Like, just nothing would make it okay, but it's also like really bad on top of the baseline not okay. I have to rant, I have to film a whole rant, so I can't give it to you all to you here, but I think that they end up changing their mind about that, but it's something that would have been a deal breaker for me from the very beginning and was in fact a deal breaker for me as the reader. Like, I can't root for you people. I can't. It goes against all of my morals and ethics, to be honest. So that was not good. Without that, it would have been a 3-star, which is an okay book, but not for me. But actively would go on my way to tell you not to read this at this point. So mistakes have been made. So after finishing that last night, I haven't read. I've been recovering from the trip. I've been doing all of the things, you know, grocery shopping, laundry, unpacking, things like that. So, but I do plan on reading more tonight, so I will just update you when I have done that. Oh, also today, Megan the album came out. This is not Megan merch, but it is a snake and that should count for something, okay? But today, Megan the album dropped and I love it. I love it. I love Megan Thee Stallion. Like, love her. But yeah, I just really like it. There's a couple of new songs besides the singles that are already favorites for me, and I'm just having a wonderful time listening to it. An absolutely wonderful time. So I'm really excited about that. Let me know if you have listened to it. But yeah, that's today, so I'm hyped. Fuck me. We just found out we came in last. We came in last for the first time. Fuck you. No. Oh. No. Oh my god, no. Hey, how do I know that I want to have an adaptation if I haven't read it yet? When I tell you I have no fucking idea what I'm going to read for this prompt. I was hoping to read more of Nina the Starry Bride, but that's not gonna happen. Hi, we're back. I missed some updates. I had every intention of updating you Friday night, didn't. Then I was like, that's fine, I'll update them Saturday. Saturday continued into Saturday night. It got pretty late. There were fireworks going off, so that was loud. And I was like, okay, that's fine. I'll update them tomorrow morning. It's now Sunday night. No regrets. Listen, mistakes have been made from beginning to end. Some by me, some not by me. The end result is a mixed bag. Let's be honest, it's a mixed bag. I am so ready to be done right now. So ready to be done, but that's not what we're talking about right now. I'm going to give you all like a wrap up of the readathon once the results are announced, which apparently is going to be on Tuesday. But right now I want to let you know what I read for the 10th book, 10th prompt, whatever, and sightseeing. So we apparently came in last. Team Mermaids came in last for like 9. That's the only time that we've come in last. So I don't know if that was like to even things out, if we just slowed down that much. Who knows? We don't know because we don't know the math, right? But our punishment was to read a book without a, an, or the in the title, which doesn't seem that hard. But wouldn't you know, every single book that I even kind of wanted to read for it had that. They did. They did. I didn't have like any other books by favorite authors left on my TBR, or that would have definitely been my pick. But alas, we were coming up empty. So I ended up reading Dick Fight Island for it, which I was reading for sightseeing because I had the 4 manga that I needed to finish from Izzy. And that is your reading update. I read Dick Fight Island for prompt 10. It was a little too weird for me, but not so far out there that wasn't enjoyable. I gave the first one 4 stars and the second one 3 stars. And then I also read I Can't Refuse S, and that was a very, very easy read. Both volumes of manga, I flew through them this morning. It is sex lessons to be a mistress, not a mistress like your side piece alongside your spouse, a mistress like they seduce men for you as like a business partner, you know? So it's not that you're pleasing this person, it's that you're working for them and pleasing other people. But that was like so easy to read. I flew through those. I gave them both 5 stars. I really liked them. There is a attempted SA in the second one, so know that. But so I finished all of the physical manga from Izzy, which was a huge goal of mine, to be perfectly honest. I also hit over 50 books, which was my other personal goal. And obviously for Face Off Readathon weekend, I don't like, brain is just so done. I'm not cut out for this. Anyways, for Face Off weekend, I read more than everything that I'd read in May. So technically, I hit quite a few of my reading goals. Now, some of my diversity goals I didn't read, and a lot of that was because of books that I had fitting the prompts and being burned out and needing like specific things at specific times, that type of thing. So honestly, like, there were some things with that I would have preferred to be different, but they ended up not really happening. So like, I would have liked to have had more sapphic and non-binary and trans and demi characters in my books. I would have liked to have had more BIPOC queer authors. Just for clarification, I had a lot of BIPOC authors and I had several queer authors, but I only had 1 or 2 overlap between those two, which is not my goal. Like, I don't know, for me, those are kind of things that I try to hit all the time. Like, I try to just have as part of my baseline kind of, and I don't feel like they showed up as much as I had initially planned for them to, with like my pile of possibilities. But I guess it is what it is. I haven't looked at all the stats. I haven't finished my journal, so I will do that. And then I have a busy day tomorrow, so I will talk to you on Tuesday, I guess, when we know all the things. Well, we are at the end of the readathon. It is July 3rd. You're hopefully going to see this video in less than 2 hours as soon as I get this final clip edited, film my journal, which will be inserted here. Alright, you can see I finished all of my manga for the 30 and 30 that started in April. That is hosted by Izzy and Shay and Ashley. So Izzy at Happy for Now, Shay at Shay Geeks Out, Ashley at Bookish Realm, and occasionally Bree at Locked Booktition. The next round is August. If you are a manga reader, cannot recommend enough. If you are not a manga reader and just want to dabble, welcome to the club. That's where I am. That's how I started. So they are my reason for reading manga. Then here is my June spread with the final everything filled in. I had quite a few books that I loved for City Books. Face Off weekend, sightseeing. Did not get as much sightseeing done as I would have liked, but I still, I think, got more done than I might have anticipated. So there's all of that. Again, this is a 5-star, this is a 4-star, this is a 3-star, and this is a D and F. So that tells you how I did with those. Let's give you another close-up. Sorry, but I am not doing any editing, so this is what you get. There you go. get it uploaded and up and admin and everything. So hopefully you're gonna see this in just a couple of hours. So yesterday we got the results of the readathon, and despite our prolific reading, Team Romance did come in second. We were also the second largest team, and the way that the averages are done are based on your entire team that signed up at all. It's not based on like active members, or there's no like recount halfway through or anything like that. So the fact that the second largest team came in second, I think shows how much we read, because the largest team came in last. So, you know, not saying those two things are related, but it's possible. The smallest team did end up winning. Congratulations, literary fiction. I did have my eye on you the whole time. I did think that you were our biggest threat. I did give both of my votes to your team for the U-turn, but that didn't count for anything because I was just voting with my team. It's not like I had an extra vote as a host or anything, but I did give both my votes to you. I did think that you were the threat. And you were. So I feel vindicated. I was right about everything, per usual. So, a little bit of wrap up on my month, and if I would do this again, and all of that jazz. So I made 9 videos for the readathon. I hosted an additional 2 sprints, so I had 11 videos for the readathon. I was on a lot more sprints. I was on more sprints this month than I've ever been on in my entire life. I don't really do sprints or go on sprints that much, so that was a lot for me personally. I was on Discord every single day, sometimes for several hours, because of prompt drops and things happening and things needing addressed. We really didn't have that many issues for how many people were on our team. We ended up with like 367 or something. I looked yesterday to try to know to say this, and I forgot if that is correct or not. We ended up with over 350 people on our team, and we only had like a couple of issues, and they were not huge or drawn out, or like they could have been worse. They could have been worse. Some of them I'm not going to trivialize because they were like actual issues, but for the most part, Team Romance was truly amazing. We had such a lovely group of people. I had so much fun with them. Team Romance was the highlight of the readathon for me. Our team chat was such a great place to be. I really got to know quite a few people that I didn't know at all before the readathon, and loved them. Would love to like do more things with them and see them on my feed and things like that. So I don't know that any of them are content creators. I'm thinking of like 5 specific people. I'm not saying I found nobody that I liked that was a content creator, because that's not true. I definitely did. But there were like 5 or so people that I was like, you guys are so cool. Come be in my comments. I want to see you. But yeah, so Team Romance was really, really great. I loved them. They were just a fun group of people, and we did have like a lot of range for the type of romance readers that we had. So, you know, and people who read the most explicit stuff that they can find. You had people who read the most weird, bonkers, ridiculous concepts that they can find, and you had people who read like very closed door or mainstream traditional romance. You also had a lot of people, I was kind of surprised, you have a lot of people who don't read romance all the time and were still on our team, and that was fun too. So I think we scandalized some people. I did. Our team chat definitely got like entertaining at times. I had a really fun time in that chat. And I thought that Discord and being in like a constant group chat was going to be the most difficult part of the readathon for me. And it definitely did take a little bit of adapting for me. I feel like acclimating, but ultimately I didn't struggle with it. Like the second half, even longer than that, probably like the last 3 weeks of the readathon, I was fine. Izzy and I had a really good, obviously we have a really good relationship outside of the readathon, but we had like a good system of tagging each other and just letting each other know, hey, I'm gonna be MIA for the next however many hours, this is what I've got going on. And also just like, we are both the type of people that are not gonna just leave you to do it all by yourself. So we are really, you know, giving equal efforts or close to equal efforts, you know, depending on the day and what's going on. But we are involved and we are also considerate of each other. So honestly, having Izzy as my co-host made all the difference in the world, not only because we already knew each other and had that foundational relationship where we were so comfortable with each other, but also just she was a really great host. She was a really great host, and so doing it with her was a treat. It was a delight. She's the best. You should ask her to do everything. I ended up with 55 books for the readathon. I DNF'd 4 of them, and so I read 51 books. I will say 14 more of those books would have been DNFs on any other month. They should have been DNFs. I read them, finished them, continued them, picked them up in the first place even maybe, specifically for the readathon, and any other month I would have DNF'd them. So I would have normally had 18 romance is not the math team, 18 DNFs in that amount of books. So I did not force myself through anything that I absolutely should not have. However, I had a lot of low ratings and low enjoyment books, or meh enjoyment books, and that's why, because I wasn't DNFing the way I normally would. Team Romance won 2 legs. We did end up losing the last leg, and then we ended up coming in second for the whole readathon. We had people that did 3rd rounds of sightseeing, so they read all 50 sightseeing books, and then they read all 50 sightseeing books again, and then they read a bunch of the 50 sightseeing books again. We had at least one person hit 200 books. You know who you are. I don't know if you want me to say your name, but you know who you are. And we had a small handful hit over 100 books for the readathon, which is so cool and so much fun. Like, I love seeing people blow my reading out of the water. That is just such a fun experience. Hopefully they, you know, had enough books that they really enjoyed that it was worth it for them. But it was just so much fun to get to see them like hit such high numbers. It was really, really cool. And then you had so many people who were reading above whatever their normal average was. I know I did, read above my normal average of around 20-ish books. This is not my highest reading month ever. My highest reading months would have been during my postpartum depression, when I was reading 2, 3, 4, 5 books every single day, all day, every day, to cope with my feelings. So if you do the math on that, that's probably like 90 plus books every single month. So this is not my highest reading month. It is probably my highest healthy reading month, and it is definitely my highest reading month since I started making booktube videos, because doing booktube took time out of my reading, and it really helped me to, I think, get back to normal as well. When I probably should have gotten treated for postpartum depression. So there's a tip for you kids. Seek help. But yeah, so I read above my average. I know quite a few people read above their average, whether that was 100 plus books, 50 plus books, or if, you know, they normally read 6, then they read like 15 or 20. Like, people were really going above average. So to me, that is a huge success for your personal experience with the readathon. One really good thing I will say about this readathon is the way that you have the prompts and the sightseeing, and just like the flexibility, the openness of those prompts to apply to a lot of different books works really well, not only for mood readers, but also just to read more than you usually would. It does that, and it does that well. And then if you were on my team or anywhere in the readathon and life got in the way and you read below average for you, you did not get to do what you thought you would be able to do, life hit you in June, I hope that July is much better for you and that you are able to use reading as a escape and enjoyment that perhaps June did not grant you. That's it for this round. Would I do this again? I would not host again. I would not host again. I don't know that I would host any competitive readathon again. Again, even before it started, I kind of knew that this was like not really my thing, but I did want to try it. I was planning on participating anyways, so when Bree had asked me to host, I had agreed, and I don't regret that, but it's also just confirmation that this is not what I want to do with my channel. You know, I am not someone who's going to be doing competitive readathons every month or every other month. The people who were already signing up for other competitive readathons, I was like, Godspeed. Godspeed, because it cannot be me. But yeah, I wouldn't host again. I can see how participating would be significantly different from hosting, because like I wouldn't be there were many hours worth of work that I did for the readathon that I would not do if I was just a participant. Many hours worth of work that I did because I wanted to be a good team host. I wanted to do this the way that I would want it done. So while these things weren't a requirement, and certainly not everyone did them, not everyone had like a lot of videos or a lot of sprints or, you know, read a ton above their norm or whatever, and all of that is fine. That is not shady or a judgment. For me, that's what I felt like I needed to do. That's what I could do, and that was me giving maximum effort towards it, and that was something that I wanted to do. Not only because that's just kind of my standard for this, not for like everything ever. I am more than happy to sit back and be like, okay, but like that's the expectation that I had set for myself. Additionally, the Discord and being in Team Romance chat really had me feeling a bond with my team in a way that I was not expecting. But because we were getting to know each other in the chat and we were talking about everything and we were talking about our books and we were talking about, you know, the readathon and also life, I felt a commitment to my team. I felt like they were counting on me. I saw how hard some of them were working for the readathon, and I just felt like I could not do less and call myself their team leader. Now, obviously, I was not in the top readers of our team, but I still felt like I was doing my level of effort that I could with my life in June, and that's all that anyone can ask of anybody. And that's certainly all I asked of my team. You know, you did not have to apologize if you were not able to read. You did not have to feel bad if you got hit by life, you know, or even if you were just burnt out and wanted to watch TV instead. You did not have to feel bad about that. But yeah, a lot of what I did for the readathon was well and truly driven by my love for my team, because they were the best and I just wanted to do what I could for them. I'd say that the end result is a little bit mixed. A lot of people are feeling burnout, and that is not always conducive to things going smoothly, but it is just a part of life. I do think that things that would make this readathon in particular better would be more transparency about the numbers and even just when to expect prompts. I think a lot of people had anxiety about starting a book and the prompt coming, and also it was not as spaced out between different time zones as I would have expected it to be for it to be international. Also, it keeps growing, so I think you're going to continue to have growing pains with that. But I think that you need to have feedback from the people that are helping you, as well as the participants, on what to change to make it better. And if the same thing comes up over and over again, then maybe consider that. That's what I would do if it was me, which it's not, and it never will be. It never will be. I do not envy this job. This is not a thing that I'm trying to do. You will literally never ever catch me trying to make a readathon my channel brand, because it's just not for me in that sense. I just want to make my little videos. I just want to read my little books. I just want to shit talk. And doing this much extra work for that is not something I'm interested in. So that is my real, honest, I think if you already are familiar with my channel, that end result would not really surprise you all that much. Because I've been honest with you and with myself the whole time I've had a channel about what I think will work for me and what won't. All in all, a fun month, a very high reading month, and that's it. Let me know if you participated, if you want to participate next year. Let me know any and all of your thoughts. Thank you to Bree for asking me to host. Thank you to all my other lovely mods and co-hosts. Some of you did so much work. Some of you, again, got hit by life. But it was fun getting to know all of you. Also, a big shout out to the producers. A lot of you did so much work to make this readathon run smoothly. Specifically, a big thank you and love to Shay at Shay Geeks Out, who is my friend and one of the main reasons why I wanted to do this readathon in the first place, because of watching her do it last year. Also, those of you who were familiar faces and joined my team just because you wanted to support me, or Izzy, it was really great to have people that we knew on our team, and so you have my gratitude. It meant something to me. I appreciate you joining the readathon if you did it for me. Thank you to Izzy for being my co-pilot and making such a difference with that. And thank you so much to my team, Team Romance, because you gave me a great month. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.